Today is May 6th, 2026. Of course, today. Yesterday on May 5th, 26th, in uh, Sugar Creek at Dutch Valley Restaurant. Idiots in there. Now, within the last month, there was people down there that Katie had told them that she lied, that I threatened her, and lied about everything because back in 03, 23 years ago, I wouldn't give her the time of day and wouldn't talk to her, that I acted like I was better than her. When they found out she was cheating with my brother-in-law and my sister didn't have enough courage to say something to her husband, I was avoiding her so I wouldn't have to be nice to her and act stupid like I didn't know anything. Everybody's like, no wonder she avoided her. And she's making up stuff like that. And she even told all of us that she never threatened her. She was getting even with her because she acted like she was better than her. And we found out it was 23 years ago. How not funny this is. Was 15 when the case started, can you believe it? And nobody blames her for avoiding her when you find out that she was cheating with her brother-in-law and her sister wouldn't say anything. Some girls like, boy, I would have took care of her. She said, but her sister wouldn't say anything. She didn't want to put her in a position she couldn't handle. And I can say something really mean. Yeah, I am better than her. You know why? I would never have anybody harmed. Yeah, I am better than her. I would never have anybody drugged, beaten, raped. Yeah, I am better than her. I wouldn't have somebody killed. I wouldn't have somebody set up buying cameras in somebody's home and then sell child pornography of little kids going potty. I would never do that. I wouldn't have people drugged up and told to say stuff, photoshopped and framed to try to extort money out of the government. I'm not a serial killer and a child molester. She is. I'm not. She is. And she should have been arrested the first day. And the ridiculous of people acting like these people are gods. That they are the great God Jehovah and the great God I am. And that everybody should worship them and kiss their butt, kill and destroy for us. We said we were offended. Now go kill, you idiots. And these fucking morons, they show up to harass me and make fun of me for being raped. Because some stupid idiot said I didn't take enough time to talk to her and avoided her 23 years ago and she's still getting even because she's psycho. What the fuck is wrong with you? See, that's where I already told the hotline I had nothing to do with that church. That I hadn't been a member of that church in 15 years. 15 years. Only visited in 2011. Twice when they were making up stories, didn't go back. Because they pushed my kid to suicide in 03. And it had been 15 years. Well, how would you know it's them? They're breaking to 3 people I know in the mall that it's their church trying to kill me. It's the only way I'd know. So did they know I didn't threaten her? Absolutely. Because where did I do it? I didn't. Where did I call her fat? I didn't. Where did I call it to her face? Where did I call her fat to her face? Where did I threaten her to her face? How would I get a hold of her? See, I didn't. She lied. Where she says she was having people harass me because she acts like she's better than me. She wouldn't stop and talk to me, and they found out it was 23 fucking years ago. It was 15 when the case started. She didn't even belong to her church, and she's complaining she didn't talk to her. Oh, she thinks she's the God of glory and the great I am, and y'all should kiss her butt. They all do. What is wrong with you people? And where that lady's like, she called her fat. No, Dave called her fat. And not even to her face. In another store. And I dared laugh. And like they said, the only reason why he would tell her of his mean joke, and she dared laugh at it, because he wanted that psycho girl to help kill her. Because he wanted to date her cousin. And he was just manipulating her. Because he knows she's not right. Think of that. So, the whole thing of it is, where would I have threatened her? I didn't go to her church. Didn't have her phone number. Where would I have done it? Never happened. Where did I call her fat to her face? Never happened. Dave said a mean joke in 2011. And the only way she would have known it is if he told her to get her to help pay what? To have me killed so he could date her crazy cousin that was in drugs? For the attention? Huh? He was just using her because she's psycho. Get the idea? So that idiot showing up yesterday, get your facts straight. Never called her fat. To her face. Think of that. Never threatened her either. Dave said it and I dared laugh in 2011. He got mad enough. He had already quit his church. So you know what we did? We walked on the other side of the kiosk. So she couldn't say anything. If we didn't get a chance to get on the other side of the kiosk, we didn't say a word when we walked by her store where she worked. We made sure we stayed quiet so she couldn't say we said anything. We avoided her more like the plague, all knowing she was dating Tim. It's ridiculous the thought that she would ever date him. But like Dave said, she's pathetic. She makes up stories for people's attention. She's nothing but pathetic. They all are. See, common sense. How not funny this is, and how big of fucking morons they made out of these people. Now, today, people, again, were in a restaurant. They're saying something about the tapes before. Now, how many times have they already admitted they used hypnotic drugs? Drug me up, hid in a room, stabbed me as I walked by. Huh? With hypnotic drugs. Hypnotic drugs, I looked it up. They call sleepwalking. There's a list of them. They drug you. It's one. Audrey's seen it on a news thing. It's one of the main things cartels use. They load up syringes with hypnotic drugs. You're sleepwalking. It takes about 45 seconds. Chemically shuts down your conscious. You never form a memory of it. You can walk, talk, eat, cook, drink, drive a car, have sex, and you'll never remember anything. That way, she's Audrey, which is Carl's daughter, my new husband, said that she's seen it on a news thing that the cartels load syringes up and then walk around big raves, big parties, and stab kids with them because in 45 seconds they'll leave with them willingly. And they will never remember even seeing. And it makes you sick. It leaves a metal taste in your mouth and dizzy and throwing up like I had. See, and I thought it was a well water. I never seen or talked to anybody. Where do you think it's funny that a rapist kicked in my door? 6 day up there, kicked in my door. No attorney got special permission. Nope. It's Fourth Amendment. It's police and agencies only under a threat of life with statements in a court order. The Fourth Amendment requires a court order. There's no such thing as special permission, nor do the police know about it. I already talked to them. You're a liar. Dave told Danny April 16, 23 that he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in her home before Pete has her frame. Pete has her tape, the filthy, dirty statement. Okay? Some guy named Pete. The police that work my case call him serial rapist, drug dealer, drug cartel. Officer Mark calls him drug cartel. That's why I was being raped in my own home. It's a drug scam from the drug dealers that are human trafficking people. That's who was in my home, not an attorney. If there is an attorney in it, they already know they're breaking the law. That's why they never confront me in person. Never talk to me in person. See, some idiot even said, well, we know the police went over and talked to her one night. Police never came over and talked to me one night. Liar. At midnight in August of 2018, I had a light in the security system. There was a 911 call. We only had 3 cameras, nothing on the inside, only on the outside, back porch, side yard, front porch. There was a light in it, and they showed up. They were silly. They said it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. Didn't want to bother. Okay? I never had any other police in my home, so you're a liar. And there's a 911 call. So you can quit your lying too. See, all these people do is lie. That's why I call them the Pinocchio group, the liar, liar, pants on fire. They lie. Just like a retired Judge Pete, friends with Ludick, letting him get away with crime, and it was just some guy saying he was a judge. And Ludick didn't know who he was. Just like April 30th, 26, I'm in Walmart and Alliance, and I'm also in Walmart 62. Two girls show up. My mom was saying that she was a psychiatrist, telling everybody not to believe her, not to help her. And it was just my mom saying she was a psychiatrist, and can you believe it? Nobody even bothered to check. She's no doctor. Just like the doctor from before not being one of mine works for them, and they had lied. Of course, they lied at CIPA. Just like nobody drugs anybody but the drug cartel. See, that's where are people finding this funny? See, that's where today people are walking around Walmart on the Strip. May 6, 26. This whole thing was a bitch move. Nothing but a bitch move. Breaking in and stabbing her with those drugs. Telling her to say something horrible like that. And beat and rape her under drugs and she never seen her or talked to anybody. The whole thing's a bitch move. And Photoshop washing, it's a bitch move. Absolutely. Absolutely. I called it a bitch move a long time ago. June to August of 23, I was up on Forest Grove Drive. Some construction workers. Up in Akron. We're talking. This whole thing's like a mean teenage stunt that went too far. Breaking in and roofing somebody, basically, and telling them to say something stupid. And then Photoshop washing in the shower in the other room. It's like a mean teenage stunt that went too far. See, that's where did I meet you? Where did I talk to you? Where did I have you in my home? I didn't. I never talked to you. I never seen you. Do you know why they don't say anything to me in person? If it is really an attorney's office drug raping people, do you know what's going to happen to them? I'm going to call the Bar Association and they get disbarred immediately. Do you know what happens? They're going to call the cops and feds and won't ask you why you haven't arrested this pervert out there drug beating, raping people in their homes. Why haven't you arrested him? Why? See, that's where the whole thing of it is. No attorney gets special permission to set up body cameras in your home. The police do not allow it. I talked to the sheriffs up there, and I talked to the Ravenna police. They knew nothing of it. Dave hired these men on his own, drug dealers. We're up there on the 6th day. We're gone out to our new home outside Ravenna. We went down a storage unit. Come back, the door's kicked into the wall. He's making up excuses. Don't report it. It was probably another realtor passing out keys. We had a lockbox. We took the key out the first day. So he just didn't want to report it because that's when their stalking cameras went up. And they're taping in the bathroom, shower, stalking me. That is a felony invasion of privacy, cyber stalking, wiretapping, voyeurism, sex offender stuff. Then when you share the videos of sex trafficking videos, and since my grandkids use the bathroom, it's kiddie porn. There's a lot of charges for putting up body cameras in someone's home. Fourth Amendment requires a court order. Policing agencies only under threat of life with statements it's not admissible. They're stalking tapes by a rapist. And then think about this. You never even have your neighbors in your home. Family, repair guys, insulation guys. 2 silly officers that come out in August of 2018. August of 2018 come out and I have a light at midnight in the security system. Call 911. They come out and say it looks like an alien orb, angry spirit, and tell me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They didn't want bothered. And it was probably one of those idiots coming over to rape me. It's that bad. Now think, and then they admitted August 4th, 25, they used hypnotic drugs on me when they drugged me and told me to say it before. Works in 45 seconds, and you're sleepwalking. Don't act like you didn't know about those kind of drugs. In 1960s, they had LSD. Hippies walk around hallucinating. They had acid. And then as drug cartels and drug pharmacies started making more and more drugs, they had more hallucinated drugs and then hypnotic drugs. Do you realize even laughing gas, you have no memory of going to the dentist and them working on you? I want you to start thinking about the massive amount of drugs and the types. Hypnotic drugs, you're sleepwalking. You know, a lot of people talk about roofies. And hypnotic drugs leave you sleepwalking with no memory. They did it to a U.S. Marshals kid twice. She moved out of this area. They did it to my neighbor Mike. He moved. My coworker Dar, she was taken and raped with one of them. My daughter-in-law, Audrey, her and her husband Gary watched it on a news channel that how cartels load up syringes of those, walk around raves, big parties, and stab the kids they want. So they leave with them willingly, won't fight. And they didn't showed how much they can control people. This guy willingly let them drug him. They waited about a minute. Told him to go to his bank and empty his account. They were taping him while he's talking to the banker and said that it was a hair off. But they knew he was drugged, so they knew what to look for. But he was a hair off. Just a hair. And when it wore off, he looked at him and said, "What happened?" They laughed at him and said, "You just handed us all your money." And laughed at him. That's how much they can control you. In 19, at Faith Family Church, they told people they had mind-controlling drugs. Amnesia drugs. They could control anybody. It's the hypnotic drugs. I looked it up, and the dangers of using them because you can sleepwalk, you can drive, you can have sex. You will never remember anything. That's why my neighbor Mike didn't know how he got home, how he got out of the bar, how he got money in his pocket, what he had ate, how he changed his shoes. And he was still talking delusional stuff and trying to tell me he was a New York cop and thought I was pretty. It's like, go sleep that off. U.S. Marshals kid happened to her twice. She moved out of the area for safety. So I want you to think about this. Where August 4th, 25, they admitted to it. August 5th, 25, Dutch Valley Restaurant, Sugar Creek. As if Agent John didn't know they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before. He was telling everybody he knew she was being drugged, beaten, raped before the case started. And he let him torture her. Is he some kind of coward? August 7th, 25, Walmart 62. Oh, they still have it. They keep them for years. Tape and audio. For legal reasons. It's Walmart. Investigators, we got admitting again to drugging her and telling her to say it before. And even using hypnotic drugs on her would cause no memory and that metal taste in her mouth. And them calling Agent John a coward. So, idiots, retards, wee-wees, retarded, moronic people. What part didn't you understand? Well, the first of the case, a little white man came up and I had a bruise on my leg, tried to tell me he used sodium pentothal on me and drugged me up and told me to say wrong nightgown and butt lie and threatened me. And he said he worked for Dave. And then other people, how I got away from that. Freaking Dave verified I was dressed modestly and they only made fun of the back of my knees. But he admitted he worked for Dave and was drugging me up and telling me to say lies. And other people showed up in 18 and how they framed me and how they photoshopped all their lies. By January 19, it was a photoshopped of washing in the shower. Huh? Or January 19 was a feminine white baby by the toilet. March 1st or 3rd or 21 is two clips together, put her on a porn, it's not her, it's them. Then later on, what you're describing is showering. Ha ha ha, she figured out what they did. May 12th, May 26th, 22 at noon. Shower scene done on purpose. March of 22, they told Navarre that Pete ordered everything drugged, photoshopped, and made up on me. Huh? They admitted framing me March 24th, 22, 1/130, then May 25th, 21, 8/9/21, December 9th, 21, January 19th, 22, February 2nd, 22, of drugs and told us say it before. Let's see, August 31st, 25, it is documented and verified they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. December 1st, 25, Walmart 62 would still have it. Of that pretty Michelle that's telling on him, where March 27, 25 of the doctor from before not being one of hers works for them and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is. I found out this last year. It's supposed to be Henry Muffy, Dave's girlfriend's dad, impersonating a sex doctor. He wishes he's ugly as a horse's ass. Like he said, he never met me in person. And when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. Got it out of Dave that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me so that he could get a job at my dad's factory and she'd have free insurance. The woman impersonating me, using up all my medical insurance and leaving me with copays, was another girlfriend. And he got it out of that lying, pathetic family that they made everything up when they met with that agent. They were all lying that it offended them to help them get away with this. They were in there to rob the FBI, scam them out of money. They were part of it. Okay? December 1st, 25, where that pretty Michelle told on them. They went around threatening her. Okay? She went badass. December 1st, 25. Walmart 62. Michelle showed up in my office. These people confessed this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. They all were. It was all a plot and a skit and a performance to scam the FBI out of money. And I'm surprised that agent didn't arrest them all for being fucking stupid enough to walk in his office. Come in and say they were illegally monitoring me on their own. That's a 12 to 15 years. Why didn't you arrest them? Okay, December 1st, 25. Walmart 62. Michelle showed up in my office and confessed this whole thing was a plan to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. And that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. And that guy, Pete, that's running his mouth in my office, she don't even know who he is. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own. Dave hired all these people. It's a big scam. And that these people, and that she don't even know who that Pete is. Dave just hired him on his own. And these people admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. She has no memory of these people. And the tape of Weird with Yourself is nothing but Photoshop to washing in the shower in the other room. The whole thing is a scam to extort money from the government. They thought the FBI was a bunch of retards. That they could walk into that office with their illegal stalking tapes. And their fake sodium pentothal reports. They told everybody in the beginning of the case they were using sodium pentothal on me, the hypnotic drugs, and told us to say stuff. Because we had the right to drug her. We had the right to drug her to get the truth out of her, whether drugging me and telling me to say stuff. We had the right to beat and rape her. No, they didn't. Nobody has the right to hurt you. Nobody has a right to drug you. Do you understand? Nobody has a right to exploit you. That agent's job was to arrest them. Arrest them. Arrest them. And does he know that they can tell you to say stuff? Because you're stoned out of your mind? Oh, absolutely. It's a bitch move. A total bitch move. Them going in there with their fake sodium pentothal reports, photoshopped a washing in a shower, a fake dirty doctor. Do you think that agent didn't check that doctor's credentials? Wasn't one of my doctors. It was just Dave's girlfriend's dad pretending to be a doctor. It's that bad. See, how big of a fucking retard does Agent John look like? A retard. People walk in with drug confessions, photoshopped a washing, and Dave's girlfriend's dad saying he's some kind of sex psychiatrist. Ew. He's ugly as a horse's ass. Ew. And I didn't even know he existed. I want you to think about that. Never seen or talked to these people. The well water we moved in, we live 10 miles out of the country. It's orange. It's chunky. We had to call around to get a water treatment system. It took them time to come out there and test it. In the meantime, you got to take a fast shower. You have to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom. Bring in a bottle of water, cook and drink. Then they had to order it. So within the 6th day of being up there, I had bruises all over me. I had personal infection. What did I think it was from? The orange chunky water. I thought it was toxic. I thought it was giving me cancer. Throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out. And here, it's rapists stabbing me with drugs as I walk by. They made it in Walmart last year, September. They were hiding behind doors and would stab me when I walked by. Wait a minute, let it take effect, then come out and drug me up and tell me to say stuff and beat and rape me after drugs so I wouldn't know who did it. You realize how sick this is? So what are you making fun of? A rape victim? Like they said, the cartel runs around making fun of her because they got a drug, beat, and rape her, and try to kill her in front of everyone, and the law didn't stop them. They did it in front of them. Now, I want you to think about this, because where did I meet with these people? Where did I talk to them in person? I didn't. It's a drug scam. Now, and think about this. April 19th, 2025. I'm in Hartville Flea Market. Investigators are there. How dumb are these people? She calls the FBI hotline. They immediately walked into an FBI office and confessed they were illegally monitoring her on their own. So by federal law, what was that agent to do? He was to arrest them. For all those charges, they should have got 12 to 15 years. Why didn't you arrest him, Agent John? Why didn't you arrest him? Why didn't you do your sworn duty and uphold the law instead of aiding and abetting crimes? They said they paid you off. You took a payoff. They're telling everybody you did. And trust me, nobody ever fell for the dirty doctor scam, taping you unaware, confessing of crimes, and sat on it till Dave wanted a divorce. There's like 30 years in that statement. See, these people are dumb and don't know the law. It is illegal for a doctor to tape you unaware. It's 10 years because of HIPAA violations. It's illegal for them to be in it with Dave. And these people don't talk about me. It's another 10 years per incident. Lost a license immediately. Does the FBI know that? Absolutely. They enforce it. And if they know someone's being harmed and they don't report it, they go to jail as an accessory if they can prove it. There's like 30 years in that statement. And then Dave told Danny April 16th, 23, where they try to frame Danny for the shower scene in the other room, and Danny won't have nothing to do with it. Him and Jem. He called his dad, asked him what on earth is going on. I heard him across the parking lot telling Gabe. I finally went to Dad, asked him what on earth is going on. He said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in his home before. Pete has her frame. Pete has her tape, the filthy, dirty statement. I've never met him. Never talked to him. People have even said that Pete, when he'd go over and drug her up and was beating on her, there's a few times they thought he was going to kill her. Beating on her like that. Some serial rapist harming women in their home. Where is this funny? Where's it funny? Some rapist breaking in some lady's home, drugging them up, telling them to say stuff, and beating, raping them. Where is that funny? Pete has, yeah, and I've never talked to him. And wasn't a doctor, just some guy Dave hired. Some drug dealer. That's how not funny this is. Nobody ever fell for it. And it sounded mechanical, and you could tell you were drugged. It was all them and not you. And nobody ever fell for the tape of weird with yourself. We knew it was photoshopped of washing in the shower. But if they were going to be that dumb, we told Agent John to go tell on her at that church and act dumb like these people before he talked to her. See, I was always told it was an act. That you weren't really corrupt. You really didn't take a payoff. But I wrote the president and I wrote the OPR because no matter what, I got left there. I got told on for calling the FBI. I got made fun of on a recorded line, and you admitted you had all those church people in your office. And the ones that said that they made it all up, that it offended them, you didn't blame them for trying to kill me for them lying to you. And you made fun of me for that guy Pete. I still don't know who he is. And he's still at large. And if you think I'm the only one they're drug beating, raping, you're probably dead wrong. Because he got away with it with me. Recorded line, honey. Now, I want you people to think of this. Rapist tapes. Rapist did this. Now, who is supposed to have done that drugs and told us that? Some guy named Pete Dave hired on his own. Some guy they admitted was beating, raping me. Some drug dealer. So, was it a doctor? No, it was what? A rapist. That's how dumb this is. See, that's where they said they set up all your kids to be arrested. Well, none of my kids know about it. Thanksgiving of 18, I asked John what was going on. He said he didn't know, that he told his ex-wife, Melissa, that we were going through a divorce, going to be moving out. She'd have the kids make up something, and the church people. But don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. Just be made up because he told them we were going to go through a divorce and moving out. But nobody can say anything bad about you. Don't worry about it, Mom. He asked me a year or two later to be a reliable name on a court record to pick up his kids from school when he tried to get custody back. I couldn't help him. I didn't get off the first job, let alone the second job, and only made $10 an hour at one of my jobs. And I was barely making it. And I couldn't help him. He ended up losing his kids. He moved to Florida years ago. I found out June 13th, 14th of last year. They had somebody impersonating him, asking people to help kill me. My son would never ask people to help kill his mother. I have text messages clear into 21. You want to go out to eat, Mom? Love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. Happy birthday. Love you, Mom. This. Want to go to church? I love you, Mom. Was he part of this? No. It was a bitch move. Drugged up and told to say stuff by Dave and John's ex-wife, Melissa, that he just divorced, and they're called with Dave's drug addict girlfriend. Where, let's see, Strange hated the government, the cult leader, his son's mistress, Katie, her family member, Michelle, which is a drug addict. Her and her dad are messed up in the drug cartel. And it's his son's mistress, his family. And Dave's cheating with that drug addict. And they want to extort money out of the government. So they ran a scam on me. Drugged and told to say horrible stuff and photoshopped a washing. Really funny, isn't it? You know, in Carrollton, like 2 years ago, girls were down there. Did you hear about her ex-daughter-in-law, Melissa? What a loon. What a loon. Her son, John, went to divorce her, and she went in it with her cheating ex-husband, had a bunch of drug dealers drug her up and tell her to say stuff, Photoshop washing, and had her beat and raped under drugs. Who takes it out on somebody's mother because their son divorces them? What a loon. Did you hear about that crazy Melissa? That's how Carrollton talked about her 2 years ago. When you start looking at her like a loon, and all these people like loons, thinking they can have people, then people are like, oh, he verified. Verified what? No, he didn't. July 26, 25, FBI agent walks into Walmart 62 between 8 and 10. They still have it. I told that couple never to say a word to her again. I interviewed John years ago. Years ago. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. Well, you got to think how big a retard you look like. You know, they had to tell me what they roofied me. Years ago, people were yelling stuff at me, and people turned around and yelled at him. Do you realize you used damnation drugs on her? She'll never remember. She don't even remember you. You can be mean as you want, and she'll never remember. So they yelled it at me. I ran and threw up and had diarrhea at the same time. I went and talked to my old neighbor, Jim, when he was still alive. I was like, Karen, that'd be horrible if somebody played with you like that. I said I'd never seen her talk to anybody. But I had real bruises. I had orange, lemon, grapefruit size. I was severely infected, throwing up, almost passing out. I was seen for the doctor for real injuries. I thought it was the well water. I said, they're laughing at me in front of stores. They drugged me and told me to say it before. My one client I was working with came over and said, I can't have her work with me. These people are admitting they drugged her and told her to say weirdo stuff. And he went in detail. And he's like, I can't have that around me. It scares me. What if they do it to me? And they were bragging in stores that they drugged me and told me to say that horrible stuff. I said, I'd never seen her talk to me. He said, Karen, are you sure they're not playing you? I said, they could be. But I had real bruises, really throwing up, and severely infected. I'd never seen her talk to anybody. And he's like, Karen, this is horrible. I said, I know it is. Now, see, that's where, do you realize how they had to tell me what they were supposed to have drugged me and told me to say? Never seen her talk to these people. Then you got to think how stupid you are. Bitch move. Okay? And John's telling everybody, nobody can say anything bad about me. Telling the FBI, nothing bad ever happened to him. Has asked me to be a reliable name, to be a court record, to watch his children. 2 years later. Have text messages of him telling me how much he loves me. Asking me to go out to dinner, meet him at church. So where are you getting this? And then, June 7th, 25, they went to Dr. Haben on Frank Street. He verified he's seen the kids between 1984 and 2002, 18 years. Seen the kids 3 or 4 times a year for 18 years. They were all very well taken care of. There was no sign of abuse and no sign of neglect. That's medical proof. Nobody was harmed. See, these people thought they could roofie me and tell me to say something horrible. Then they'd have an excuse to kill me in front of people. It's that pathetic. It is a bitch move. See, that's where John never verified anything that he was part of this. He lives in Florida. And then you look like a retard. You're saying you're part of this drug scam? You're going to end up in jail for it. And just like Joshy didn't know anything about it either. Neither did Danny and Jen. It was a bitch move from my ex-husband, my ex-daughter-in-law, that my son just divorced. And his call in it with drug dealers trying to rob the FBI. See, where did I talk to you? I never talked to you. Where did I have you in my home? I didn't. And they already came out. It's supposed to be Henry Moff. He's supposed to be the fake dirty sex doctor. You don't think the FBI didn't check people and their credentials? It's the FBI. Did they know you were lying to them? Absolutely. Do they know it's a federal crime for a doctor to tape you underwear? Yes. Do they know it's illegal for them to be in it with Dave and them? Yes. Did they know all this was a drug scam? Yes. Did they know the photoshopping and washing was just a bitch move again? Yes. They're not a bunch of retards. It's a federal government. I want you to think about this. And then they, like people were saying, nobody better say a word to her again. None of this is funny. Them drugging her up and telling her to say something like that. And having people make fun of her for it. It's a drug cartel. April 28th, 24. I went to Walmart in the strip. I was talking to Carl about it. I said, we go to walk in. Some guys on the phone said, I listened to the recorded line. That agent did talk to her like that. And he did admit to telling on her. They better do something about this. I said, we go over here to the canned veggie aisle. Officer in uniform showed up. Karen, I was listening to this today. We all know nobody drugs anybody but the drug cartel. There was a drug cartel in your home before. We all know that guy told you on you before. I want to know how he heard it. And he takes off after him. And we get over to the other side of the food aisle in between the lady's clothing and the food aisle. I said, I was right here when that guy was talking to that guy, Kurt. And said, Kurt, none of this is funny. They have the agent over a case admitting that he told on her before he talked to her. They have her whole family defending her, saying they didn't know anything about it, and the other ones saying that they made everything up. And these people admitted they drugged her and told her to say it before, photoshopped everything and made everything up on her. Nobody say a word. None of this is funny. Pam walks by with her granddaughter. Uncle Dave said he had someone tape her before. Oh, they'll verify it. We go to walk outside. The investigators busted out laughing. Took her long enough to confess she was in it with Dave and those stalking tapes. Because they're stalking tapes. They're so dumb, they don't even realize they're stalking tapes. Her family was linked to the following ending. Now she's in it with Dave and the stalking tapes. Her family better never verify anything on those stalking tapes. They'll end up in jail for it. The police already taped them, saying they didn't know anything about it and defending her. And the other one saying that they made everything up. And these people admitted they drugged her and told her to say it before, photoshopped everything and made everything up on her. That means they were in it with Dave trying to kill her and cover it up the whole time. People scattered. It's a reality. They told everybody in 19 you can't put your names on the tapes before without going to jail for them. These people admitted to heinous crimes. That's evil. See where the whole thing of it is. Where did I have you in my home? Where did I talk to you? I didn't. You're a black and blue mark. You're my rapist. People talked last year how that guy Pete would come over and he would, when they'd have him stab me with those drugs as I walked by, where I had all those big bruises, they thought he was going to kill me. I don't even know who he is. I come out of it throwing up, and I had orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises all over me. My personal area was so infected, it was pushed open down, and when I pee, I'd scream. They said they thought he was going to beat me to death. And it's just some guy named Fire. Some serial rapist. The investigators call him drug cartel, a drug dealer and a serial rapist. He is. He's very dangerous. I don't even know who he is. And people make fun of me for a rapist. Drugging me up and tell me to say horrible stuff. My kids never verified anything for them. They verified for the FBI, nothing bad happened to them. You look like a damn fool. Being part of that and then asking somebody to watch your kid and be a reliable name on a court record. My kids were not monsters from hell, and they weren't out trying to steal from the government. David, Melissa, and their church was, though. And they weren't part of trying to have me killed for Dave's little 18-year-old drug addict girlfriend. She's one run around telling everybody she stole $5 million from the government. Well, I wrote the president And I wrote the OPR and the DOJ because there's a real FBI case. And Agent John, if you remember, the recorded line. For someone told on me. You liar. Remember? I tell you about the guy that threatened to knife me at China. Go call me a liar. Start screaming about a camera above the bench. I don't know. You know there was a warrant out for his arrest for dismembering Lori's family member. You know that, sweetie, where I am. Guy that tried to kidnap me. Killed Lori's family member. There was a warrant out for him. Well, you're calling me a liar. And I'm trying to tell you. Was there a camera above that bench or not? I don't know. Said he tried to kidnap me before. Before I could say Terry Copley seen him. You know, oh, come on now. Even if a church person seen him, they'd never verify it. Well, she did. He said, I met with that family in my office. The one that confessed to an FBI agent, they were all lying. And they made everything up in your office to fool you. The big liars. And all the other church people that were lying. That you knew they were trying to kill me because Strange called me a faker when it was medication errors, medical malpractice. And he called me a faker 15 years before. And they just decided now to kill me. I have nothing to do with them, moved away. Because they're saying they were offended 15 years ago. He called her a faker, so we want her dead. They sound like retards. They already confessed to an FBI agent last year. They were all lying in that office. How could you even go along with such shit? I said I really was sick before. You liar. Was there a camera above the bench or not? I don't know. You say you're lying, I'll arrest you. Oh, you hear me? I'll put you in jail. You say you're lying, I'll arrest you. And I'm like, fine, whatever. Remember, honey? Like a lady investigator said, where they're sending it out to police departments, you sounded like pure evil. You sounded like Satan himself. You really did. Now, why you say you were faking you're sick? I almost died from medical malpractice. I said I really was sick before. And then how you met with the big liars. And you knew they were trying to kill me because the strangers lied to cover up Tim and Katie from 03. I said I really was sick before, you liar. You need to realize what you've done, and I don't blame them for trying to kill you. Remember saying that, sweetie. You're aiding and abetting attempted murder on a recorded line. Remember? I said I really was sick before. You either say you're faking or I'll leave you there. But they've tried to kill me, so you either say it or I'll leave you there. And I said, but they'll kill me. And he said, I said, say it or I'll leave you there. It's like, fine, just don't let them kill me. Why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're going to try to kill me, so. They've tried to kill me, so. The other agent yells out the rapist's name. A man I've never met. We could always use Pete's tape a word with her, so. Only Pete I knew was my brother in Medina. Hadn't seen him in years. Talked to him on the phone. I said, what are you talking about? He's talking about my rapist, Dave Hire. I said, what are you talking about? I said something else. No, I've never met him. He said, I bet. He said, stop, she don't know. And he's laughing at me like it's funny. Said, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about the psychiatrist for sexual disorders or warning your brother. Ew! At that point, I almost yelled, why don't you stop lying? And I thought, well, the other lady that used my insurance, maybe it's one of her doctors. It's Dave's girlfriend's dad pretending to be a doctor. I found out. Like he said, he's never met me in person. Only seen him as ugly as a horse's ass. I said, I don't even know who or what you're talking about. Stop, she don't know. And he said, give me a real reason. My brother-in-law, Craig Davis, died working at the Pentagon under Dick Cheney. Tell him about him. He said, first of all, he said, have you talked to any law enforcement up there? I said, the only ones I've ever talked to in August of 23. I had a light in the security system. At midnight, 911 call, they came out. They said it looked like an alien orb, an angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They didn't want bothered. You're kidding, right? I said, no, matter of fact, I've never even had neighbors in my home. I've only had family repair guys and those two silly officers. He said, is that what's going on? Do you know if Dave's cheating? I said, I've never caught him. December 9th, 18, Dave verified I never caught him with anyone. He's laughing at me. She said she never caught him. So did Dave. Why is that funny? He said, well, I could take you somewhere and leave you with no money. I have no money to start. And he said, well, if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches. He said, I can open an informant program. I said, I can do that. He said, it comes with like $5,000 a month. I'm loading the money on the card today. He said, you'll have a life of peace as an informant, nothing legally stated, dated against you again for work in this case. And only for you would we ever do this for. We'll always put it back as if it never happened. And admit to no wrongdoing, and I'll take care of everything in the end. But if you try to tell someone, I'll tell people you're crazy, the FBI won't help you. And, but if you need help, the chief of police at Canton is my best friend. He always makes sure the Canton police protect you. I told Walter Moss, he used to work at the Stark County prosecutor's office. He laughed till he cried. Chuckled, tears in his eyes. He said, first of all, the only thing legal that agent said on that whole phone call was listing your form with money and immunity. He cannot bully you into false statements under threats. The police know they can't go along with him. He can't ask you to stay quiet. It takes a judge in a jury trial for freedom of speech. It's actually illegal for him to even say it. No judge could sign it. Cannot be in a court order because it's illegal. Only a judge in like a jury trial can put a gag order on you. He's only a higher police officer. You don't even have the authority to say it. He said, you can tell whoever you want. He can't say a word. And he can't tell on you. And I said, well, he's already confessed, he told. He can't tell on you, but you can tell whoever you want. He can't say a word. It can't be in a court order. Get the money for risking your life to get the government information they owe you. Karen, you don't realize you're in one of the many witness protection programs. Informants are different. You stay yourself and you feed them information. He said, but you're not only in form a case, but a threat and attempt to lie case. They can't be closed. The most the FBI can do is put you in another witness protection program, but you'll be in protected custody the rest of your life. Because these people try to kill you, and they could wait and try to kill you again. And you get the money for the rest of your life, and you get the immunity. He cannot withhold it. He cannot misdirect it. He can't make up rules. He does not have the authority to say there's guidelines, and only guidelines that judges can sign. And no judge can sign it. That judge would go to jail. He's only bullying you to get away with this. You can't tell people they can't help you. I talked to a criminal attorney, same thing, police. I looked it up on Google. If an FBI agent tells you can't say anything or you won't get your money, it is considered blackmail. If they withhold your money, it is theft out of government funds and a crime against the United States, and it's tampering with a witness and obstruction to justice. And if they tell anybody they can't help you, say that if you say something, nobody will help you, it goes into blackmail, obstruction to justice, tampering with a witness. And if they tell people they can't help you, it goes into attempted murder. That's how much he can't say it. No judge could sign it. And he can't, badgering laws, he cannot bully people into false statements under threats. All these are 20 to 30-year life sentences. Recorded line. I never got my money, and I got left in hell while they got surveillance on the cartels. Because of Karen around the house, Karen's FBI informant, little threat, and attempted lie case, the drug cartel showed up within a few weeks. And they were probably already here, but they made their presence known. And then they played mean games of who paid for the harassment. And they got information on all kinds of cartels. My little case led into Judge Peters' arrest from Florida. His people were seen at Faith Family Church in front of 3,000 people. They were the ones harming me before. Um, that's where his girlfriend Michelle showed up and announced herself in January, February 1990. I didn't know she existed. Um, and Buffalo, New York, Michigan, California, the Kingsmen from Texas showed up, and they're all after them. The Middle Eastern Iraqis. And Georgia, there were several human trafficking groups here. People were being taken by 20, 30 a week to 20 another week, 20 here, 20 there, and they're all laughing under police surveillance at some. The U.S. Marshals use the case, got thousands, saved hundreds. FBI got Judge Peters out of Florida, and then Buffalo, New York, Michigan, and several out of California. Saved hundreds of lives. My little case led into a lot of bigger, like they said, her case, she was part of a really big bust, several of them, and saved hundreds of lives while I'm being raped and tortured, beat with internal injuries, skull bashed in, human trafficked. The cartels were breaking their crimes, and they just had to follow them around. And they sacrificed me. I like my money, Agent John. I wrote the president, and I wrote the Department of Justice OPR. What happened to me should never happen to another human being. I like my money. I like a new name and social for me and Carl. Live our lives out in peace. And I need medical cards for both. I'm going to upload this.